Welcome to Adrienne Ross Squared, squaring off from A to Z. Here on the second channel, I have several ideas. Now, some of you know this already, and if you're new, you don't know, but I have a main channel. It is the Adrienne Ross Show, where sports and culture connect, but that channel used to be about everything. I rebranded it several months ago now because all the basketball content really took off and I was doing everything over there. So I decided I'm going to make a separate channel, and over here, I'm going to square off from A to Z. Well, some of the ideas that I have are surrounded by my background. My background, as you may know, is in teaching English. And so I thought it'd be really cool to do the grammar edition. Remember in the main channel, when I started talking a lot more about basketball, I would say, welcome to the Adrienne Ross Show, the basketball edition, to separate the basketball from all the other topics that I used to discuss. The grammar edition is something that I want to do. That's not today. I also want to do the word of the day occasionally. And today seems like a great day to do it because you can see behind me, you see the word hate. Hate. Why would I start the word of the day with hate? Well, I did a video earlier on this channel. Hopefully you saw it. If not, go check it out. And I was talking about the WNBA's Indiana Fever having designated Tuesday Pride game. And I talked about the culture of the WNBA, the activism of the WNBA. And it's interesting when you read comments. I read some of the comments. I engaged with some of the comments. And you notice something there that you notice in our culture, where not just on a channel, but in the culture in general, people love to throw around the word hate. Hate. And we got to remember what our mamas told us, right? Don't say hate. Hate is a strong word. Most people, if they mention hate, they'll say the same thing. It's a strong word. And yet nowadays, people love to say hate. Now, if you watch the video that I put out earlier, you'll know, if you watch it with a clear mind, without your own agenda and bias and triggers, you will know, and you would have to notice that there was nothing hateful in what I said. So to just sort of put it in a nutshell, I said that the WNBA prides itself on being an activist league, which they tell us. So there's nothing hateful in that because that's what they said they are. I also said that the WNBA should stick to basketball because that's why we're watching. And so since it's a basketball league, a lot of people just tune in to watch basketball. Again, nothing about hate in what I said. It should be amazing and astounding and confusing, but it's just par for the course these days that people would take what I said, extremely respectful, and say that it's hate. Somebody even called me evil because I said something that triggered the person. This is where we are in society today. We see it in sports as well as other places, but sports, let's talk about that. If you're talking about women's basketball, for example, two of the most known names are Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. I have found that if I don't think that Angel Reese is a wonderful basketball player, then I must hate her, and therefore I'm evil. Just like I was called evil on this channel because I said, hang on to your hat, that a basketball league should focus on basketball. All of a sudden, I am hateful. This is what we have done to language. And I've dealt with this stuff before, the bastardization of language. When people control the language, they try to control you, but not working here. You're not going to convince me that a person who says a basketball league should be about basketball, or a person who says respectfully that the WNBA is an activist league and tells you it's an activist league, you're not going to convince me that I'm full of hate because you have a problem with what I said. But we in this culture have become marshmallows. So if somebody doesn't agree with us, we label them as hateful. Well, hate is the word of the day. And I want to say something that I really shouldn't have to say, particularly if we're all adults here. I don't have to agree with you. You don't have to agree with me. Calling that hate is just immature. It's your inability to accept the fact that people disagree with you. It is akin to people who call everybody who disagrees with them racists. That's what they say about some of you because you don't like Angel Reese, for example, or you don't like Asia Wilson, for example, or maybe you didn't like Michael Jordan, whatever the case may be. Then you are a racist and it's used to control the conversation. So, in other words, it is the height of this superiority complex because you're right in your mind, and anybody who doesn't agree with you must be labeled as a hater. It is so absolutely arrogant, actually, to think that if I don't agree with you, then I'm wrong and I'm the one who hates. I think it's you who must examine your heart. So it was just interesting. So even before I did this video over on the main channel, I put a video up about the Indiana Fever signing Arie McDonald to a hardship contract. And I was laughing at something we were laughing about since last season. And that was when Arie was so consumed with guarding Caitlin Clark that she forgot she had another free throw and she went and started face guarding her. It's just a joke. Everybody laughs about it. I'm sure Arie laughs about it. It's kind of funny that the Caitlin Clark effect is that strong. Somebody actually commented. This was before I was about to come do this video. I was like, perfect timing because you're Exhibit A. Someone said something about stop with the automatic hate. She never touched Caitlin Clark. Stop with the automatic hate. And I'm like, what are you talking about? This is a joke. And did you watch the video? And who are you labeling hateful? We're talking about basketball. We're saying that the person who face guarded Caitlin will now be the point guard under this hardship contract. Automatically, you hate. When we just use these words and throw these words out, they lose all of the meaning of the word, right? When everybody's a racist, nobody's a racist. When everything's a priority, nothing is a priority. When I can respectfully say, you know what? I think most people go to sports to get away from all the other agendas and narratives, and you read that as hate, you have the problem, not me. I'm not hating anybody. You don't know anything about my family. You don't know anything about the people in my life whom I respect and who respect me. There's no hate involved. I don't have to agree with them. They don't have to agree with me. We can agree to disagree without calling one another hateful. So I say back at ya because I think it's just like the racism thing. It is used to shut down the conversation. If you can say, well, you just hate, then you try to shut down the conversation. It actually is just a means to control other people, how they feel, what they believe, what they value. And it doesn't work over here. And it doesn't really work for most people because most people are not going to carry the label that you put upon them because of your own issues. And in some cases, not all, because I don't want to all willy-nilly throw around the hate word. But for some people, it's their own hatred for other people who disagree with them, for other people and their values. And so they are projecting that on you. Now, I'm not saying that's everyone, because again, I'm not going to all willy-nilly and say it. You acknowledge your own situation, you search your own heart. I don't hate anybody. I can still say, I think basketball should be about basketball. Lock me up. I found this article. I thought it was really interesting. And I'm going to share parts of this article with you. Came across this, and it is called Why We Should Resist Branding Others, quote, hateful just because we disagree. I'm going to read part of this article. Interestingly, it was found it's found on a site called Foundation for Economic Education. Why we should resist branding others hateful just because we disagree. So, word for the day or word of the day is hate. Here's your lesson about hate. This article written by someone named Logan Albright. Don't know nothing about Logan. Don't know whatever. You just hear what Logan had to say and you can take from it what you will. Try not to hate him if you disagree, okay? It says the problem is not that there is too much hatred, but that there is too little willingness to debate ideas honestly without ascribing bad motives to the other side. Okay. And let me, like I said, I'm going to read part of this for you. It says, in reality, there is a lot less hate floating around than you might think. Most people I talk to seem pretty cheerful. And even those with a temperament tending more towards depressive gloom about the state of the world don't seem to harbor any real hatred for others. For my own part, the ratio of times I've actually felt anything akin to hatred for my fellow humans to the number of times I've been accused of hatred comes to roughly 0. All of this invites an important question. If there is not an epidemic of hate, why are these accusations so common? The answer is that the word hate has simply become a rhetorical trick used to delegitimize opposing opinions and prevent us from having to honestly engage with the other side's point of view. Artists and entertainers describe those who don't like what they do as haters because it's easier to dismiss criticism as irrational than use it as an opportunity for self-improvement. Activists and ideologues use the same trick when they are insecure in their own positions and fear to intellectually engage with anyone not already in their camp. If you can ascribe hatred to your interlocutors, you don't have to answer what may be perfectly valid objections to your worldview. You don't even have to listen to them. What better way to maintain our bubbles of unanimity and moral certitude than to pretend everyone outside it is an evil misanthrope? And then the article ends with this. So please, let's stop calling everyone who disagrees with us a hater and start trying to actually talk to them. If you take the time to find out why they disagree, you may be able to show them the error of the ways. Or who knows, maybe they'll surprise you and show you the error of yours. That last sentence is something else. Or maybe they'll show you the error of yours. And methinks that's why people don't bother to talk, don't bother to listen first, and then to talk with other people. It's so much easier to just say, I dismiss you as a hater. It is part of the decline of society. You may not convince me. I am firm in my beliefs and I'm firm in my faith, but maybe we can still have a conversation about that and agree to disagree. But you don't have to do that when you just say, oh, you're evil. You're just a horrible, filthy human being. I'm so disappointed that you hate so much. Funny, I didn't call you a person of hate. And isn't my viewpoint just as important as yours? Hate is such a word thrown around, loses its power. There is such a thing as hate. Not everything is hate. Not everybody who disagrees with you is hate. And there was nothing hateful about my video earlier. I said that there are people who have traditional values. There are people who enjoy sports for entertainment, who want to bring their children there without, as I explained in the from the halftime of the Valkyries game, they don't want people singing about drag queens in front of their children. Does that mean that they're full of hate too? Or maybe they just want their kids to enjoy basketball. It really is kind of wild that that gets labeled hate. That's where we are in our culture. Now, I'm not even going to put that on the whole. Yeah, the culture certainly has issues, but it's time that people take responsibility because culture is made up of people. So whether you're talking about me or if you're talking about other people, you pointing the finger that way, you've got a few coming back at you. Hate is not disagreement, and your inability to have respectful discourse is your problem. And you really should look into that. So there you go. The word of the day. There you have it. Nothing but love. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. Also, hit the thumbs up. And if you are not subscribed to the main channel, The Adrienne Ross Show, where sports and culture connect, I invite you to do that as well. God bless you abundantly.